There were studios dedicated to doing this, associated with most of the major museums around the world. These guys were real artists. I mean, it's not as if they were just cranking out casts out of a rubber mold or something. I mean, it takes a great deal of technical knowledge to put them together. They're made out of many pieces because you can't cast these complex objects out of a single piece. And they had to be sculptors too, really, because they had to make these casts and then, finish them properly and fit them together so they looked like a coherent whole and not like a bunch of joined together jigsaw puzzle pieces. And so there was a whole, sort of craft of this, really, I guess you could say, of people who did this. These are pieces of the Colleoni Monument in Venice, which is that amazing equestrian monument outside San Zipolo. It's one of the great equestrian statues of all time. You can see, this amazing horse's head. So we took it, I suppose on one hand, sort of ambitiously thinking we might try and reassemble the whole thing, although I think it's probably 30 feet high or something like that. But even if we don't, to have a horse's head like that for students to draw from is really, it's amazing. I think the cast collection is critical for the ICA. After all, the whole institute got started with me seeing the students drawing from casts at the New York Academy of Art. And that's something that not only did art students used to do, but architecture students. And it's the way every architect used to be trained to become an architect, was to look carefully at beautiful architectural objects and learn to draw them.
The Metropolitan has been loaning portions of their cast collection for years to various institutions throughout the country, and the ICA&CA and the Metropolitan sort of found each other at the right moment.
So it's central to the whole mission, really. It's as central as anything else that we do.
Our move here was perfect timing for receiving this gift from the Metropolitan Museum. We finally had a facility where we could park them and use them on a day-to-day basis.
In the Institute, Classical Architecture in Classical America is going back to basic essentials. It's learning what they call the grammar of ornament, really. That's basically what it is.
I think it's exciting to just uncover these great pieces of history. They're amazing records and that not very many people know about.
I always say to people the thing that bothers me most about 20th century architecture, and I was making this comparison the other day between Frank Lloyd Wright and Michelangelo, is that Frank Lloyd Wright did and would say that his achievement was individual, right? That it was all about him, It was like his mom made him a great architect and he became the world's greatest architect. Michelangelo used to say that the reason that he saw so far is because he stood on the shoulders of giants, which meant that his achievement was accomplished because of all the other great artists who both were his contemporaries and had gone before him. And I think there's a giant difference between those two things. And I think our camp is that whatever we do, you can only do because of all the other people who are doing it with you.